everyone. Welcome to another episode of Mind Over Matter, the podcast where we explore the secrets to living a balanced and fulfilling life. I'm your host, Sana, and today we have an amazing guest with us, Leslie Lindsay Davis. Listeners, she's a best selling author, inspirational speaker, and a true advocate for self love and emotional well being. So, please welcome Leslie Lindsay Davis. So, Leslie, welcome to the show, and it's an absolute honor to have you with us today.
Well, Sana, thank you so much. I'm so excited for the conversation. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So anyway, let's get started. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So, Leslie, you're talking about your book. To begin with, You Can't Eat Love. It has touched many lives. So, would you share what inspired you to write this book?
The inspiration came from realizing that there were other people like myself who didn't love themselves. And to kind of back up a little tiny bit, back in 2016, I had an emotional tsunami hit me. And I believed at that time that no one loved me. And what I came to realize was the only person who didn't love me was me. And as a consequence, I made a decision that I wanted to start living my very best life. And part of that meant that I needed to start knowing who I was and understanding that there also was one person, one being, one entity who had always loved me no matter what, and that was God. And as a result, I started encountering other people who didn't love themselves. And I kept saying the same thing over and over and over again. And finally, God said, write the book. Tell your story. Tell other people how you learn to love yourself. Because when we don't love ourselves, we put ourselves at the bottom of the stack. And when we're putting ourselves at the bottom of the stack, we're not living our best lives. So I wrote the book to talk to all the other Leslies that are out there in the world who don't love themselves and who believe that they are not worthy of being loved, so that they can discover they're amazing people just exactly as they are. And let me help you learn to discover how amazing you are and help you learn to love yourself so you can begin to live your very best life.
Yeah, that is really, really beautiful. So, here you mentioned, self-love, self-respect. How do you define self-love, Leslie? And why is it so important for all of us?
Well, self-love is loving yourself enough to honor your boundaries, to treat yourself with kindness and respect, to make certain that you are clear on what you will and will not accept. For example, how many times do we talk about ourselves? I am so clumsy. I am so stupid. I am so, whatever it is that you say to yourself. When we do that, we are giving the world permission to speak to us and to treat us the same exact way. So self-love is making sure that you are clear about what you will and will not accept, and start not accepting and accepting from yourself, because the way we treat ourselves tells the world how they can treat us. So self-love is incredibly important, because that determines our message to the world. But the other thing is, if we are not prioritizing ourselves, we are not able to serve the world the way that we are supposed to be serving the world. I mean, for example, if your car runs out of gas, is it going to go?
No. Not.
No. But when we as human beings run out of gas, we continue going even though we have nothing in the tank, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the car is not being selfish. The car is simply saying, I'm out of gas. I cannot continue going. And if we can look at ourselves similar to a car and understand that we must take care of ourselves before we can take care of someone else, then our perspective starts shifting. The other benefit that comes from that is we do not resent the people around us who need us because we've already taken care of ourselves first. And here's the secret that I learned. I need to take care of me because no one else is going to take care of me. They are busy taking care of themselves. And I don't need to feel resentful that they are not taking care of me.
Definitely, definitely. And Leslie, so do you think we often talk about an alignment between our body, mind, and spirit. And I believe somewhere down the line, there is a direct connection between our emotions and our spiritual well-being. So, what would be your perspective on that?
Well, definitely there is a connection between our emotions and our spiritual well-being, because when we are shutting down what we really and truly feel, we are lying to ourselves, but more importantly, we are lying to the being that created us.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, God knows everything. And not only does God know everything, but we know everything. And the more energy that we spend on shutting down our true, honest emotions, the thicker the wall gets on being able to have a clear spiritual connection. Because we're spending so much energy trying to keep up the lie. And when we spend that much energy trying to keep up the lie, we cannot have a real spiritual connection. It's being blocked.
True, true. And some people, they find it hard to embrace their emotions. So, what advice would you give to someone struggling with this?
But generationally and societally, we are taught that we should not experience or feel certain emotions.
Yeah.
And that used to serve a great purpose. It no longer serves the same purpose. So, what I say to people is to have written conversations with yourself and be really, really honest with yourself about what it is that you are really feeling. Get curious. Ask yourself the question, what is going on that I'm feeling this way? And then you can also ask yourself, what is the first time that I felt this way? What was going on then, the first time that I felt this way? And be really curious. I will even ask myself, why am I trying to lie to myself about what I'm really feeling?
Exactly.
And the answer can get really interesting. But the number one thing that I recommend is get a pencil or pen and paper and have a written conversation. Get that conversation out of your head. Get honest with yourself about why you're feeling this, what is going on, so that you can sort it all out and put it away so it dissipates. And sometimes our honest feelings are ugly, or they may be considered inappropriate in the moment. If we're extremely happy about something that happened to somebody, that karma thing, some people may say, well, you shouldn't be feeling that way. But you know what? How you feel is how you feel. Nobody else gets a vote. Let's stop doing emotions by committee.
Definitely.
And be honest about it. We are honest with our honest emotions. It liberates us. It frees up mental space. Not only does it free up mental space, but it allows our spiritual connection to get stronger because we stopped lying.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. And Leslie, talking about your journey, you have overcome some profound challenges in your journey. So, how did those experiences help you deepen your spiritual understanding and connection to your emotions?
It the realization that
Mhm.
I could actually feel what I was actually feeling allowed me to open up my soul and my heart to discover that there was somebody who always loved me, no matter what. Someone who knew me inside and outside and knew my every thought and my everything. And what that did was it allowed me to start building a relationship with a loving parent that I never really had. I had great parents. They were physically present, but not emotionally available. And as a consequence, it was something that I always desired. I always wanted, a really deep emotional connection with my parents. Well, now I no longer crave that because I have a deep emotional connection with God, with the being who created me, the one who established my purpose for life.
Mm-hmm.
And that settled my soul. And daily, I have conversations with him all day long.
Wow.
I can be doing something and I'll start having a conversation. Yes, I say a conversation.
Mm.
And what that does for me is it keeps me connected to him and it keeps me connected to myself, but it also keeps me honest with what I'm really thinking and what I'm really feeling. And then I'm not searching outside of myself for everything I already have inside of myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't need someone's approval with regard to what I'm thinking or feeling.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. Leslie. Also, some would argue that focusing too much on self love can become, self indulgent. So, how do you ensure that self love doesn't overshadow the importance of caring for others?
Well, just like we talked about the car needing gas,
Oh.
taking care of yourself and prioritizing yourself does not mean that you are not prioritizing others. What it means is that when you do take care of others, when you see to the needs and desires and dreams of other people, your gas tank is full and you're not operating from a position of, I have to do this. Instead, you're operating from a position of, maybe not I want to do this, but I am able to do this. Because, let's be really honest, sometimes we don't want to do things for other people, but we are able to do those things for other people. When we are taking care of ourselves, we are not deprioritizing others. Instead, what we are doing is we are making certain that we are able to operate from a place of not resenting the other person because we've already taken care of ourselves. Now, oftentimes you'll hear that you need to sacrifice, you need to put yourself second, and things like that. No, no, that car is not going to operate without gas. You cannot operate in the world and fulfill your purpose if you have not taken care of yourself first. Now, that doesn't mean that you spend hours and hours and hours taking care of yourself. What it means is that you spend a small amount of time, even
Mhm.
if it's 10 minutes first thing in the morning, you spend a small amount of time focusing on you, affirming how much you love yourself, how wonderful you are, putting things into your mind, into your soul, into your spirit that are uplifting. And then you're able to tackle the day. Fill your gas tank up first so that when those people who need you in your life, those people in your life who need you, when they come along and they need something, you are able to give freely without resentment.
Absolutely true. Great, great, Leslie. So your upcoming book, which is What Color Is My Shirt, it also explores honoring emotions. So, how does this concept align with spiritual growth? And could you also share a glimpse of what readers can expect?
Um, the way that being honest with your emotions aligns with your spiritual health is when you get honest with what you're honestly feeling, regardless of how ugly or extreme it might be,
Mm.
means that you are unblocking that spiritual connection. Because remember, the one who created you knows everything. So when we try and lie to ourselves, then we are lying to that person, that being. The concept in the book is, it came to me when I was doing a podcast interview. We were talking about how many times you say to someone, I'm feeling this way, and their response is, you shouldn't feel that way. Well, that is exactly as if they were saying to you that your black shirt is pink. They are denying your reality. So what I'm doing in the book is debunking all of those myths about what you should and shouldn't be feeling, and giving you the tools and the ability to override what society might be saying to you. But the benefit of cleaning up our emotional health means that our
Mm.
spiritual health gets stronger, because we are no longer lying, not just to ourselves, but to the one who created us.
Mm. Wow, wow, that is really inspiring. And before we wrap up, and Leslie, so for someone new to the idea of self-love as a spiritual practice, or they might, be feeling skeptical about self-love as a path to spiritual wellness, what are some simple practical steps you suggest they can take to begin their transformation?
I would suggest that they do two things. One, get a small notebook, not an A4 or 8.5 by 11, but a smaller notebook and a pen, and start having a written conversation with themselves. Just one page, maybe 2, 3 at the most. The other thing that I would recommend that they do is, whatever religion they practice or follow,
Mm-hmm.
get that book and find a section and just start reading
Mm.
and listen to the words. Open your heart and listen to the words that are being said. And I can guarantee you that what you will hear is that you need to take care of yourself first, that you are loved, that you are wonderful. But just read, maybe one verse, not a whole lot, just one verse, and then let the words resonate within your soul. And then the other thing that I suggest that you close out with is just simply expressing gratitude for how amazing you are. Tell yourself, I am amazing, and then go on about your day.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Leslie, thank you so much, first of all, for sharing your incredible insights on the spiritual dimensions of self love, and also helping us understand how to navigate the path of emotional well being. And your wisdom is truly inspiring. And I know our listeners have gained so much from this conversation. So if they wish to connect with you and they wish to get access to your books as well, how they can do that?
The easiest way to connect with me is to go to my website, which is youcan'teatlove.com. And if you wish to message me, you can message me from there, and I do respond personally. I would love to hear from anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody has any questions or anything like that that I can help them with, or just to clarify, please do reach out. But Sana, it's always such a pleasure to get to talk with you.
Great, great. Leslie, we'll have all the details mentioned in the show notes for our listeners. And Thank you, Leslie, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Sana.
Great. So, to all of our listeners, thank you to all of you for tuning into this episode, and stay tuned for more such enlightening conversations. And remember to nurture your spirit, stay peaceful, and stay healthy. Until next time, this is your host, Sana, signing off. Thank you.